What is up, you guys? So, I was planning on doing a whole other video today. Stumbled upon a video today by the infamous Candace. I just felt like doing this instead. I don't really have anything planned. I'm kind of just going off the dome here. Let's start here. I've more recently been making videos that touch on a little more touchy subjects, and if those are videos that you watch, you'll hear me say multiple times that I don't identify as either party. I think politics and the government is a whole facade, and what I do follow is what I feel is right, aligns with my beliefs and my experiences in life, right? And that's not gonna be the same for everybody, and that's fine. I can respect that. Candace Owens, we've heard of her, but very recently she's been a little more popular, I would say, a little more palatable, I would say, maybe because of the kind of videos that she's making, maybe because of the kind of topics that she's speaking of. And I've come to find that Candace Owens, you and I, we don't necessarily agree on some things. We don't believe in some of the same things. However, I have come to find that in our own ways, I actually resonate with her in a few aspects. QB, hold on. And my dog wanting to play. QB. We're gonna go outside later, okay? If I had to pick one, I do lean more left. It's where my experiences have led me. And I've just come to terms that her life path and her mission in life is different than mine. If you're just gonna watch this and be like, oh, if you support her, that means you're a Trump supporter, da 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 da, we're not gonna get along. I don't have such a simple black and white mind like that. It's really hard to just label somebody as a good or bad person because people are nuanced, a product of their past and their upbringing. There are things that I, would criticize when it comes to the beliefs that Candace has, in the way that she delivers some of the things that she says. The one thing I respect, she has a trust in her God and her mission that makes her fearless. That's not easy to do. And one thing that I have come to respect that I felt from this TikTok that I stumbled upon today from her is that when we think of Candace, I think you think like, oh, she's just a Trump supporter no matter what he says and does, she's all for it. This video, there are some things that we agree on. Things that people love to call conspiracy theories in Hollywood, our government, and this and that. I was surprised to see that she also shared some of those thoughts that I completely believe in and agree with, and I've actually spoken about in my own ways and terms, right? I haven't necessarily dove as deep as her on certain topics. She actually spoke against Trump, and that's not what this is about. Stick with me. It comes to Gaza. It's been now, like 2 years, which is so crazy, that this war in Palestine happened, this ethnic cleansing, right? I had posted something about it on my Instagram when it first started happening, how it was a aside, had some followers get really upset and message me and say, I'm so disappointed by the words that are coming out of your mouth. If you actually did proper research, you would realize that they started this. I still stand by whatever I said, because now we're starting to see that we were right. And this is what Candace talks about in this video. The US, we have this loyalty to Israel, the alliance that we have, whatever the hell the reasons are. But then what happened? Trump came out on a video saying, no, we're not gonna send the Palestinians back to Palestine and give them Gaza back because now it's all rubble. Why would they want that? We're gonna put them in a whole new place, doing them a favor by putting them in a whole new country where they're gonna actually be able to have a home and live a life and not be in rubble. Instead of letting them go back home, where their families grew up, where their stories were built. We're just relocating them and telling them to adapt to a whole new thing where they're gonna basically start over, where they keep getting pushed and pushed into corners out of their homes, which is how Gaza even fucking happened in the beginning. And for some reason, we're supposed to not act like that was the plan all along that we were calling out. And Trump was like, oh yeah, the US is gonna now take over and we're gonna turn it into something beautiful. And he says in the video, why would they want to go back to the... Did you ask them? Maybe help them rebuild their own home? Did we even talk about it with them? Because if you follow reporters from Palestine, like Bisan, she posted a video very, very recently where she was returning to Gaza. It was such an emotional video because she's walking home and she's like, it's starting... Oh, I just got chills. She goes, it's starting to smell like Gaza. It smells like home. And she just starts crying. You can just feel the relief. Imagine fearing for your life like that and finally having your home back. Do you think after all that, after that she and those people went through, they just want to be relocated and start all over again, this whole process of trying to fight for their existence, their home. It's so easy to see through the bullshit. My point in making this was just, you know what, in the climate that we're in the way we see life very differently, I'm very surprised to be saying, Candace, I completely agree. I'm gonna play a little bit of this here so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, toughest.
And you can
places
hear the reporter in the
on
background going, but it's their
right
home,
now,
sir. This was the plan all fucking long. This is what I mean. Politics is bullshit because when money is involved, you owe people shit.
you can't live there. So if we can build them through massive amounts of money supplied by other people, very rich nations, and they're
Then
willing
help
to
them
supply it.
rebuild.
If we can build something for them in one of the countries, and it could be Jordan, it could be Egypt, it could be other countries, and you could build 4 or 5 or 6 areas. It doesn't have to be one area, but you take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like someplace where they can live and not die. The only reason the Palestinians want to go back to Gaza is they have no alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site. They instead can occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony.
Yeah, because you're gonna relocate them into somebody else's space, and you think that there isn't gonna be some sort of issue that comes up with that. The world is filled with greedy people. We've learned that by now. In the US, such an issue with people needing a better home and better place. Hello?
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
I love these two clips because we have at long last arrived to the period where after a year of gaslighting us and telling us that wasn't happening, like everyone just smearing us in the media, we're just now getting to the point, which is an ethnic cleansing is going to take place. We're going to just move millions of bodies. And now we're going to try to emotionally engineer the public to think that it's acceptable by saying, well, there's nothing left. Our bombs bombed it all. Why would they want to go back there? There's nothing left, which we have on tape, Bibi Netanyahu saying that before October 7th. Him caught on tape saying we have to make the punishment so severe and so harsh that the Palestinians won't want to go back because there's nothing there. He said this, okay? I showed it on my show and I didn't care. And so one of the other favored lies about me in the media is that I agree with everything Trump says and he does, and I could not disagree more with this. I could not have been more vocal in my lack of support for any person who, whether left or right, who claims to be a good and a compassionate person who is okay with what is happening and what they are saying they're going to do, all statements which are on record before October 7th even happened. And in terms of Trump talking about the real estate of the property, saying they have to go, and Jared Kushner was on tape speaking about how much worth the property could be.
I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. And Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up. It's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there, but I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up.
And so for those of us who said, are there people who have already invested in this property and want to see it being built up because they are going to make a ton of money?
Her speaking about this, I really appreciated it. Because I think we need these moments of seeing that sometimes we're so quick to just think this should be a left versus right, and maybe you don't agree with the things that they believe in, maybe you don't agree with the things that they say. But there are things that, even despite our differences, sometimes we can put them aside. And so I really hope that this is something that keeps getting attention and keeps getting addressed. And hopefully it's really easy in our fast-paced environments and lives to let news become past things, especially with so much going on at the same time. Alright, so this was my beat. I don't really wear makeup to this extent anymore. I wanted to do this little lookbook thing. Outfits on Instagram, TikTok, shorts, whatever the hell. And I love you guys, and I will see you.